I hope you all having a wonderful day. I'm having a okay day. I forgot to tell y'all, bro. I got stuck in mud today. That happened to me, and I ran out of gas in the middle of the street. Yeah, fuck that question. Look though, we finna react to inside the Navy indoor pool, ocean,
Here
whatever.
at the Navy's indoor ocean at Carter Rock. This is the biggest wave pool in the world, and they can make all kinds of different waves so they can test, scale ships, and make them better before they actually go out on the open ocean.
W low, W
I
zero.
came in and I'd seen some pictures, but I just walked in here, and it's insane. Because they say indoor ocean, but like it's exactly what it is. The water even looks ocean colored. You know, it doesn't look like a swimming pool. This looks like an ocean. It looks like a test facility. It is huge.
It is 360
I
feet
wanna do
long
a
in this
swim in it.
dimension, 240 feet long in that dimension. It's 20 feet deep, just about the size of a football field out there. The dome above us was the largest freestanding dome for a while.
Largest freestanding dome in the world.
Yep.
What?
In this pool, they can make waves of all shapes and
Nah, boy, you
sizes using
regated?
huge
Man.
paddles that line two
Man.
walls of the pool.
Man.
We have 216 individual wave makers.
Damn.
We can make waves from negative 45 degrees up to 135 degrees, which is kind of coming right back at it.
We are now behind the big paddles that make the waves. These 216 paddles are programmed to move in incredibly well choreographed ways so that they can produce reproducible, perfect size,
never
perfect
get to more
frequency
than two. I'm
waves
going broke
that
out.
go across the entire pool.
You can see these
Jared-
air bellows
Bruh,
that
Jared
are
ain't even
what's
say
making
thank
the
you,
angular
bro.
motion. That vertical piece is
That
the
nigga
force
didn't even say
transducer.
thank you,
The other
bruh.
force transducer is right up on the top.
There are lots of wave pools in the world, but what
Fuck.
makes this one different is control. You can create waves of a specific amplitude and frequency and do so repeatedly.
Should we try a 1 hertz?
Yeah. Do me a favor and dial up 1 hertz.
Amplitude will be 0.078 at 1 hertz.
Hey, go ahead and send it from 0, please. And so this is the largest wave we can make at 1 hertz. That's based on the motion and power requirement for the wave maker.
There's something a bit like surreal about watching this because it almost looks like an ocean, except you never see waves this regular out
Yep.
there.
Correct.
Did you say that?
One of the fundamental characteristics of a wave is its wavelength, the distance from one crest to the
Yeah,
next.
that nigga just scammed
The
you. I ain't
first
gonna
thing
lie.
most people learn about waves
Lo,
is
look.
they transmit energy.
Lo, you might be the first nigga I know that got scammed out of a sub. I was finna say that completely different when I was thinking about it, but I waited too long to say it, so it just fucked everything up. But that nigga for sure just scammed you, son.
rather than material from one place to another. In this case, as the wave travels
I
to
gotta
the
fight
right,
that nigga,
the
that was
water
me.
molecules themselves basically move along circular paths, and the deeper the water, the smaller this motion. All motion stops at a depth equal to half the wavelength. This is known as the wave base. But even in an ideal water wave, the molecules do drift a bit in the direction of wave motion, and this is because the molecules travel faster the higher up they are. So they move farther at the top of their loop, then they move backwards at the bottom, creating a spiral path. This place is perfect for observing properties of different waves. I asked Miguel to show me some waves
I don't
with
get
different
the point of
frequencies
this,
but
though,
the same
like-
amplitude.
So what I'll have them do now is I'll have them stop this wave and this change the frequency. Because we're at 0.6, we'll go to
Xavier
0.5, so it'll
didn't
be a
even thank me
2-second
for the
wave.
sub.
Here, I'm split screening waves with frequencies
You
of
get the Amazon
0.67,
too?
0.5, and 0.33 hertz, all with the same
You
amplitude.
didn't give him no sub.
So, two things to notice. Even though they all have the same amplitude, the ones with higher frequency look like they have a greater amplitude because the slope of the waves is steeper.
How they make Navy ships, for example, to find out what's best for stability. Ooh, Gerald. Boy, you came back at the wrong time. Boy, finna get on your ass, dog. He finna get on your ass, eh? Oh my god. What happened? Nigga, where's my thank you, bitch? bro. Oh shit. He finna say thank you for what? That nigga talking about, oh, that nigga so ungrateful. Shit, I ain't even see. That boy know he saw that shit because he ain't getting ads. Oh, bro, this nigga's so stupid.
And second, the frequency of a wave affects its speed.
Thank you, love.
High frequency waves travel slower than low frequency waves.
Look at that.
In fact, as long as the water is deeper than
God,
the wave
it's
base,
y'all mid-game.
wave speed is inversely proportional to its frequency.
Niggas be lying.
They have a really cool demo that takes advantage of the different speeds of different frequency waves. You can see it starting here. They send out high frequency waves first, followed by lower and lower
playing,
frequency waves. And because the high frequency waves travel slower, the lower frequency waves gradually catch up.
Whoa.
And they've timed it so
Alright,
that
we're going 2
all the
hours, by the
waves
way.
meet
I'm
up
gonna
at
be going on 2
exactly the
hours,
same
too.
time and place in the pool. And this causes the wave
Why?
to break. The
Why
ocean
you asking
engineers
me-
can do this again.
Bro, if I ask you what game you playing, why would you ask me why? Nigga, just tell me what's up with your Wi-Fi today, Chase down. It's lagging again. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, that's not the problem. All right, we back. We green. We good.
And again, in exactly the same way, thanks to their precise control over the waves.
I told her,
This demo
it
also
keeps
nicely
saying no.
illustrates the principle of superposition,
Oh, you
that when
playing
waves
Undisputed?
meet,
Type
they
shit.
add together. The height of the water is equal to the sum of the heights of the individual waves meeting at that point. You can see how much bigger the amplitude is. Those individual waves weren't that big, but when you add them all together, you can make this big breaking wave. They can also take advantage of the superposition principle to create standing waves.
So what's coming up next are 2 regular waves coming at each other, what we call the quilt wave. So we're gonna have a wave coming this way and a wave going this way, and it's gonna create standing waves. So there's 2 regular waves coming out, and if you look at the waves, it looks like a big quilt pattern out there.
At some places in the pool, the waves always cancel out to 0 amplitude, and at other places, the waves add up
If I
for
was there,
maximum
I want to jump
amplitude.
in. What's crazy?
They can even send waves from all directions.
Nigga, I guess they just use this to just study waves, which is kind of weird because like y'all ain't gonna get in that shit. Like it's I don't know, bro. Niggas just be bored and rich.
So they form circular wave fronts, and then all the wave energy is channeled into one spot they call the bullseye.
The
And so
bullseye.
now we're gonna run the bullseye wave, which is essentially the same thing, but instead of having a line of waves, we're having it all coalesce at one individual point. So you can start seeing the waves are coming from the long bank here, and you can see they're making a spherical wave, and then you have another spherical wave coming from the short bank. And this is breaking due to the coalescing waves and the wave height being more than 1/7 of the wave length.
We tried throwing some toys into the wave to see what would happen to them. Would they get pushed into the breaking wave? Even though there's not much net movement of the water, the ducky drifts with the waves and pretty quickly is pushed into the bullseye.
How's the ducky doing?
He's getting to the danger zone right now. It's starting to funnel him right into that breaking wave.
They should have did a hurricane
It's there.
Enough,
simulation.
enough.
That's what they should have did. I would have been wondering why that ain't gonna lie.
Oh, it swamped it.
That's amazing.
That was right where we wanted it.
Now, the real purpose of this facility is not to play with toys or make perfect, unnatural waves. It is to replicate on a small scale the types of waves Navy ships will encounter in the oceans of the world. Research engineers place ships modeled after billion-dollar vessels in the water to see how different designs actually behave in real-world conditions.
Right now, this is coming from 45 degrees. It's going to be about a 5-inch significant wave height, which if we were to scale it up for this
Jared,
model
say
would
yo,
be
fool to the
20-foot
fool, shut
waves.
up.
When we're doing a free running model like this, we usually run like a racetrack, like a big circle, or a figure-8 track, so we know the headings
Oh, God.
that we're running in, so that we can correlate that to, you know, the full-scale vessel.
For the model to provide an accurate representation of the real world, a lot of things must be taken into account.
Is the water fresh?
Fresh water.
Okay. not salty.
Not gonna lie,
Nope, fresh
tomorrow I'll
water.
get Subway.
So when you're in salty water,
Just
you're
pick
going to
your
have
latest
a lot more
picture.
buoyancy. So when we're ballasting our models, we have to make sure that they take into account that buoyancy difference. So when we go full scale, you know,
we
you're
do
the
it
same
tomorrow.
conditions.
That's all right.
For fluid
we can
mechanics,
do it
I
tomorrow.
always expect that you have
Yeah,
to keep
so
the
it'd be
Reynolds
more.
number the same as in the real world phenomena.
Change
But
it, don't open
actually,
it. Bet.
to get the right wave dynamics, you have to use a different scaling, which is based on the Froude number. So the Froude number is a measure of the ratio of inertial to gravitational forces. It's equal to the flow velocity divided by the square root of the acceleration due to gravity times the characteristic length, like the length of the ship. In
That's
this
a big
case,
ass
the
ship.
model ship's hull is 46 times smaller than the real thing, which means to get accurate data, it should be traveling at 1 over the square root of 46 times its real world speed. And to make the footage from the model look the same as that from the full-size ship, you have to slow it down by a factor of the square root of 46, so roughly 6.8 times slower.
Probably both.
I'm amazed at just how well these shots match. But of course, that's the idea. Scale the model and the waves so the physics are identical to a real ship out on the open ocean. Naturally, I asked if I could go swimming in the pool, but they said very kindly, no way. The closest I could get would be
Like-
on a little dinghy.
Like,
Is
you
that
hear what
about-
I'm saying? Like, bro, you nigga got all the water, but a nigga ain't jumping it. So how you niggas take baths on that shit? Y'all niggas just so happen y'all niggas just got like a shower. All that water in that little pool, y'all niggas don't use. Somebody lying, bro. That water ain't get green like that, bro. Y'all niggas pissed in that water. I know these niggas lying, bro. These niggas got in that water, bro. I'm the same type, bro. I done been in the pool before. I didn't. Bro, these niggas done been in that pool before, Lo. I'm telling you, son.
With a catch.
It's pretty smooth sailing out here right now.
Yep. No waves while we're out here.
So, I'm assuming no one's ever been out here in waves.
Nope. That's one of the no-nos they don't want us to do. Like, I guess it's a risk thing, so.
This place
risk.
seems like
A risk of what? It's
massive
water.
playground, kind of.
It kind of is for engineers like us, where we kind of dork out on the science and what we're doing here. It's a huge volume. Like I guess I never understood how deep 20 feet was until they emptied it to put in the new wave makers. It's a large volume just taken up by this water.
Yeah.
But so as we come by, these are our sensors right here. We have a big array here. These are ultrasonic sensors, and that's how we measure wave height and period and direction in the basin. So we want to measure that to make sure that what we test in is what we think we have.
In this pool, they can create all sorts of different
much you
wave
think that shit
conditions
costs?
you might encounter in different.
What? You talking about the pool, the place, or the ship? What you talking about? The whole shit. Just because these niggas nerds and I know they playing with a lot of money, probably about $1 billion. Nah, probably about probably about 300 to 500 million. So probably about 300 to 500 million. Yeah, bro, the U.S. government shit. That shit out of my hand, bro. I just live here.
Different parts of the world. Most ocean waves are created by wind,
Just there,
and the
bro.
strongest winds occur in
I
and
know.
around storms. 5
Gotta
factors
call that
affect the size and shape of waves created. These are the wind speed, the wind duration,
It might be a
the
billion.
distance
I don't know.
over which the wind is acting, which is known as the fetch, the width of the fetch, and the depth of the water. As waves travel out from a storm, the higher frequency waves dissipate their energy more quickly. So the waves that travel a long way are the fast-moving, low-frequency waves, which are called swell.
When those waves end up becoming like hundreds of miles away, like if you have it in the Pacific, eventually you'll get long period swell from them. So you're no longer near the storm, but it created enough energy to make long waves, and that's where you get your open ocean swell.
Tell me if this is a good analogy. I feel like with sound, a lot of the high frequencies will die off quickly away from a source,
Yep.
but the low frequencies will travel much further.
Correct.
So is it the same thing with the waves? It's like
Correct.
you're walking away from a concert and you can still hear like the bass, but you can't see any of the high
That's
frequencies.
a great analogy. Yep.
What's the deal with rogue waves?
People like to think it's a rogue wave where it just came out of nowhere and just came up. No, it's usually multiple waves that are meeting up and creating an amplitude that's much larger than what the self-standing wave would be. So when it meets, it's going to break because you have this large wave creating this huge amplitude that it just can't hold it and it breaks.
We're gonna do much
On
about
a
it.
calm
I'm
day,
just
when you
serious.
see waves
Facts.
crashing at the beach around 10 seconds apart, that is swell. But because of its long wavelength, swell isn't really a concern
about
for
me?
ships out in the open ocean.
You know, if you're in a long period swell, your ship's probably just going to heave a little bit. You're more worried about the steep waves and the windy waves that are really moving you around.
Yes, you.
Wind waves
appreciate
are
it,
formed
bro.
in 3 steps.
Shit, I ain't
First,
even say nothing.
as
You calling
wind
me
blows
smart, nigga.
across
I know
the
I'm
surface
smart,
of
nigga.
perfectly still water,
Appreciate
the
it, though, bro.
turbulent motion of
Appreciate
the air creates regions of slightly higher and slightly lower pressure.
Yes,
and
you
this
the fuck.
makes
My
tiny
fault, bro.
ripples
Damn,
with
I said
wavelengths
yes,
of
me.
around
My
a
fault.
centimeter. But now the wind can act on these ripples, creating larger pressure differences between the front and the top of the wave crest, pulling
Nigga
them
wanna
up
come
into
and
bigger
sense this.
waves.
I know, bro. Appreciate
And the
it.
interaction of the wind with these waves then creates even larger pressure differences
Oh,
and
you agreeing
even
with him that
larger
I won?
waves.
Appreciate it.
The waves are mostly uniform at this point, but as they interact with each other, they create a range of different wavelength waves. And as the wind keeps blowing, these waves begin breaking, transferring their kinetic energy into swirling eddies that dissipate their energy as heat. Once the energy dissipation matches the energy input from the wind, the waves have reached their maximum size. And this
why
is
they
known
ban
as
that
a
nigga?
fully developed sea.
So this is going to be an irregular wave.
This is irregular?
Irregular wave. So what you saw earlier with the regular waves were one frequency, one amplitude. This is what we call a spectra, or multiple frequencies and multiple amplitudes. You can see there's like higher frequency waves that kind of travel slower than the low frequency waves. Those low frequency waves will travel fast and overcome them, and that's what's making them look peaky or kind of dulling it out.
What surprised me is that the different oceans of the world have different mixtures of wave frequencies, or different spectra, depending on their geography and the types of storms that occur there. For example, the North Sea and other small bodies of water have a peakier spectrum, and this is due to the limited fetch of storms that occur there. In the mid-Atlantic, a broader spectrum best describes the developing or decaying open ocean waves that you'd find there. And in the North Atlantic, the steady wind across an open ocean produces the broadest spectrum of wind waves. So when testing, engineers first have to figure out where the ship will be deployed and which spectra best match these locations before creating them in the pool.
For most people, I think an ocean is an ocean. But you're saying that there's sort of like different conditions depending on where you are?
The destroyer, when I was in command, we did an operation off the coast of South Korea in the spring. Very rough sea keeping conditions. But then, like when you're crossing the Pacific, a lot of that is a lot calmer. So again, from there to the coast of South Korea to the Arabian Gulf, all those very different conditions.
Were there any conditions that were particularly rough for you?
So my bed was actually in the middle of a room, and the seas were so bad, and this is either South or East China Sea, the seas were so bad that one night I woke up in the middle of the night and my whole mattress with me on it was sliding off of my bed frame. And that's a pretty significantly sized mattress, so you can imagine the seas we were in that night.
Much bigger than this would terrify me. I know it probably looks benign, but like much bigger than this, I think that model will take a lot of water.
Why do you care about how much water goes on the deck?
So on the back of this DDG is a helicopter landing pad. They don't want any water on the deck when a helicopter's about to land. That's a big problem. That's one of the tests that we do here is we'll put cameras to look at the deck and understand how much water washes on.
Since I knew they wouldn't want to risk their fancy model in rough conditions, we brought along a little remote-controlled boat to test.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy on that boat. A lot of people would be getting seasick.
Whoa! Whoa, no!
Is it gone?
It's gone.
No, it's right there. It came
Boom.
up. It's upside down.
It was totally gone.
It was in the air, and then it went under.
Now, not all the models tested here can be remote controlled.
So on the carriage is where we're going to do captive model tests, where you could tether, put power and instrumentation onto a model that can't hold it itself. So usually the model will go in this moon bay right here.
The models are hooked up here, and then the whole lab speeds over the waves, towing the model underneath.
People have been making ships for thousands of years. Is there actually any innovation today?
Most definitely. So sometimes, you know, people say that's the way we've always done it. And then when you look into it, there's some validity to some harebrained ideas. And when we test them, that's why, you know, you cut your costs of doing a model test versus building the full thing and saying, oh, that didn't work. Every ship that's in the Navy's fleet has gone through here, has gone through either our purview or has been tested peripherally with us. But all of the Navy-owned ships have been tested in this facility. And there is a ship out there with a tumble home design where if you look at this ship behind you, it flares out. So this flare is usually what helps protect you from when you start rolling. It gives you a reaction force or helps push you back. A tumble home is shaped, you know, the opposite direction. And if you have a ship shaped in that direction, it doesn't have as much of a restoring force when you roll.
But what is the idea with making a ship like that?
There's a lot of different reasons why you want to change a hull design. Some of it is the above water signatures. It's all about the shape and radar sections. And you know, there's a lot that goes into that. You always want to be stealthier. You always want to be faster. You always want to have more power. And that's always what, you know, the innovations come.
So most of the sailors aren't aware of the work that's going on in the background to support what they do.
When I was in the fleets, and I've been in the Navy 27 years, I never had any idea, certainly not the magnitude of what they do. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's impacted every ship and submarine in the fleet.
Hey, if you don't have a huge wave pool in your house to test out wave physics, I suggest you check out Brilliant, the sponsor of this video. Brilliant is the best learning tool I know for mastering concepts in math, science, and computer science. All their lessons...
W video, W video, W video, W video, W video.